if you've spent a long time in a seat, you end up having all kinds of different tactics to try and find a way of being comfortable in the moment. Well, there's a couple of things that I'm just going to offer up. When you're sitting down, where do you fold? So you can fold, if let's say you fold in the rib cage, you feel yourself slump down.
Mm-hmm.
If you fold in your medium back, then there's also a slump.
I feel that.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So there's this idea of folding at your waist, but a waist doesn't actually exist. There is no medical term for a waist. A waist, the term was initially coined and used by the fashion industry. And so medically, the waist doesn't exist. So where do you fold? Well, if you're sitting in a seat now, you can tell that your legs come, your femur comes kashunk into the sockets of your pelvis, and that's actually where you fold. So, are you sitting on your legs when you sit down? If we were squatting down, you wouldn't have any doubt about where your legs were and where the bottom of your spine is.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the thing. If you imagine the top of your head, okay, and then go traveling all the way down the back of the head to the kind of the point where the head sits on top of the spine. And then you're just going to go on a journey with me down the spine. Oh, and here's a fun thing you can play with in your mind. And that is that the top of the spine, your vertebrae is about the size of a satsuma.
What is that?
You know, a tangerine orange?
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
And then you're going to continue down, and then somewhere around the joint of where your rib cage is, somewhere around that, mid-back, your spine is about the size of an orange. And then you're going to continue down, and then when you get down to the lumbar, the spine is about the size of a grapefruit. It's pretty big. That vertebrae is chunky. It's a big old thing because it takes a lot of stuff. And then continue down, and you'll feel your sacrum. You sense that big bone that comes in between the pelvic ridges there either side. You feel those. And then if you follow that down, then you'll be sitting on some bones that are your sits bones, are connected to the pelvis. And the tricky thing is that your sits bones are kind of close to the point where your thigh bones meet your pelvis, but the sits bones are a little bit lower. So if you rock backwards and forwards on your seat, you'll feel your sits bones. They're just kind of like rockers. They're actually shaped like rocking chair legs, where they're shorter at the front than they are at the back. So you can rock backwards and forwards, and you can feel those rockers. That is the bottom of your pelvis, and it's not your legs. So then if you bring your mind to that rocking motion, and then see how your pelvis rocks backwards and forwards, you can position your head above those rockers. And what's really fascinating about rocking backwards and forwards is that it doesn't make any difference to your legs. Right? So that means your legs are independent of the whole of your spine in that way, bonily. So when you find that median place of your head just sitting very happily over your rockers, you should be able to feel that your legs can wibble around. You can wibble your knees around quite happily. Do you feel that? You can put both feet on the floor and just wibble your legs around and feel the whole of your foot on the floor. So that's the fold. That's where you actually fold, not in your waist. So if you're sitting there and you can rock backwards and forwards on your sits bones there, yeah, your whole spine is able to move according to that. Then when you reach forward for something, just rock forward. And then you can, and here's the fun thing, you can kind of like a weeble rock round and round, and you can feel, if you go right to the very edge, you can feel your leg then being sat on. If you rock to the other side, you can feel your other leg being sat on. Are you feeling that? So then if you find the exact middle where your sits bones are sitting nice and easy in that kind of median place, and you can feel your head sitting on top of that, you can imagine if you imagine the sits bones being the root out of which the top of the head grows like a plant, extending up, and your sits bones are connected to the structure of the chair. Then you can let your arms and your shoulder girdle drip off that. Your shoulder girdle can release as a result of your spine sitting on your sits bones. Your skull sitting on your spine that's sitting on your sits bones. And you can sigh. And another way which you can check whether you're sitting on your sits bones or not is by wibbling your legs. Just seeing if your legs are nice and free to wibble around. Yeah. Here, just for the sake of argument, slump down again, and then try and wibble your legs. Arch forward, and try and wibble your legs.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yep.
Isn't that strange?
Yeah.
And there's a good reason for that resistance. And it's to do with the fact your legs your legs muscularly start further up your body. Your psoas ties in about midway through your torso. So if your torso is slumped or extended, it then puts tension on the way that your legs hold themselves.
I feel taller. When you said like, oh, you can lean forward to reach for something, it was like, oh, I don't feel like I'm
sinking down to reach for something.
Yeah. And my arm doesn't feel like it's so heavy. I think in this slumped position, it feels a lot more like, oh boy,
Yeah.
I've got to like hoist. There's some hoisting of myself to go forward. But here now I feel a little bit more like I'm just tipping, like I'm just taking an elevated structure and like tipping it forward instead of like,
That's it. Yes, totally. Yeah, that's a really great way of phrasing it. Yeah, tipping. I think experimenting with how you find yourself in relationship to the floor, where you're sitting is a way of escaping the tyranny of sitting.
Mm-hmm.